Hey everyone! Again, it's been a while since I upload anything. Yeah, you may be wondering why. To put it simply, real life. Real life has gotten in the way to me as of late, plus my laziness, plus reviewing ain't really for me nowadays, so yeah. So, to do a bit of catching up, I'm gonna go talk about two things I recently watched. Two things this week for my review. We have my thoughts on the Superman 2025 or James Gunn Superman with the DCU. I'm gonna call it 2025 to be honest, since it's for easier sake, and I'm gonna refer to DCU as James Gunn's universe since it would at least make a lot more sense. But that's just me. Anyways, I would say honestly, this movie is amazing. I do say it has potential to become the. I see David as the next Superman, as well as also do enjoy the film. Maybe I kind of wish there's a bit of a go with the origin story. I kind of wish we got to the origin story before doing at least a bit of an origin flashback and then fast forward to the to pretty much the second to the plot. I felt like the current plot of the film. Honestly, while I do feel like I kind of wish we could see a bit more of the war scene, but that's a different story. But I think, but then again, this is supposed to be on Superman, to be honest. And while I do see nice to see Gargano getting some screen time, even though I felt like the guy is already had some popularity, despite always kind of getting overshadowed by usually Hal and John. By the way, Jon Stewart's my favorite out of the three. But I do respect Kyle, and also, hey Nathan Fillion, nice to know you got a different. Hey, everyone's his favorite. And detective, officer, and also everyone's his favorite hunter. Yeah, Nathan Fillion. Yeah, I pretty much know Nathan Fillion pretty much from now, to be honest. Those roles. And you know him because of Castle. But that's a different story. Mm. Honestly, while I did enjoy the film, and while I admit it does focus a little bit more on the Superman stopping Lex Luthor plot, but also so kind of a subplot with the a war, but yeah, anyways, but that's a different story. Although, yes, I do enjoy Mr. Terrific. He's one of my other favorites. It reminds me of another character who basically explores. But other than that, I say it's amazing. Can't wait to see the future of the DCU or the James Gunn universe. Can't wait to see what the gods and monsters are going to. Can't wait to see what gods and monster sure is going to be in store. And I also can't wait for Supergirl to come out next year. By the way, and I also may give it a review once it comes out. Also, um, yeah. Anyways, moving aside, I would say we also got to Deathbound 2025 first half. Yeah, why not? Since we got the first 6 episodes coming out and we're going by monthly, so rather start out to talk about my thoughts on least within the first half of this year. Aang versus Traveler. Oh, sorry. That's it. Shoot. Wait, that's sorry. Wrong episode that was. Hopefully, save until somewhere. To be honest, at least save until then. I'll talk. Actually, sorry. Wrong one. Kratos versus Ashura. Honestly, yes. It's funny how the Tom and Jerry is the champion winner. Yet Kratos versus Ashura got a last laugh after losing twice. But anyways, say despite the episode, despite the hate, I actually enjoyed this episode. I'd say the episode's animation is almost peak, but the music really helps as well. But I do like the music to be honest. Ghost Rider versus Spawn. I would say, wow, really? One Spawn really wants to take a chose the spot of being in the longest between first and second appearance. No, and before you ask, no, I do not count Goomba and Koopa as they were helping Bowser fight Eggman. But anyways, animation music is peak in my opinion. Shigaraki versus Mahito. Yeah, let's see. Honestly, I say the animation music is peak in my opinion, and as well as also be animated by Moro himself as well. One of my favorite animators in more recent years. Master Chief versus Doom's Player. Well, this was one long-awaited rematch that, despite how I remember Reddit was also in other places. I don't know if other places was talking about that. I don't really check much about the other social medias when it comes to the rematch poll. But man, I mostly only know the Reddit side of things where I want to Shadow versus YouTube, and also I would like to see Scott versus Tracer get the episode. But yeah, honestly, aside from those two, I was really wanted Master Chief versus Doomslayer to happen. Yeah, Master Chief versus Doomslayer was one of my most requested rematches of all time. Yeah, I would say the animation and music is peak in my opinion. And it really shows how Deathbell has come far, as well as also one of the boys, and as well as also a nice recreation of Joe. Also a reenactment of JoJo, to be honest, considering Kiara Buckland as well as Yogeya have also appeared in this episode, alongside Jordo and Philip. And yeah, man, it reminds me that I see Kiara Buckland as legendary, to be honest, in my opinion. And it really shows how far she has come. Also, my favorite scene is basically the rocket launcher catching scene. A nice callback to the original, by the way. I also say. Mm-mm. Also, this is also to show Del Artemis that, yeah, it's also to show the makeup for Del Artemis' last episode by also working alongside others. By the way, I can't wait for Devil Artemis. Can't wait for Devil Artemis. David Fisher, who's also animated this episode, and also Lewis, to also animate Hulk vs. Godzilla. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised they announced the animators for this episode this early. To me, they always feel like, honestly, it's quite surprising how these three have. It's surprising they announced it way earlier than usual. Simon the Digger versus Kyle Rayner. Wow, surprising we got this episode this early because I thought this episode would become the season finale. Yeah, I know it was later on revealed the reason why. It was confirmed to the fireside, the reason why we cut this episode this early. Like, surprising. I'm honestly surprised because it always feels like it should have been a season finale to me, but yet, here it is! Okay, alright. Oh, yeah, right. The reason I should probably mention why this episode got early. Yeah, it was like a reveal in the fireside casting that. Hey, by the way, we're revealing this episode a lot earlier due to the fact that because it was done a lot earlier, to be honest. Man, I remember when this was the most requested. Ah, yes, I remember the 2D poll that this was here. And yet it lost to Bill Cipher versus Discord. By the way, the animation and music really hits hard, and I hope DC does more with Kyle Rayner. Maybe, hopefully, in the Lantern show. Maybe in a future season. Hopefully, DC acknowledge it. And maybe also Jessica Cass as well. I'm also a fan of Jessica Cass. But, well, John Stewart's my favorite, but give Kyle more things to do, to be honest. Anyways, yeah, that should be it on that one. And then last but not least, we got is Wile E. Coyote versus Tomcat. Excuse me. Honestly, I would say the animation music is peak in my opinion. Really hits hard, and yeah, the championship winner, even the anyways. But I would also say championship winner. Yeah, it came after the second place winner. But anyways, honestly, I do enjoy it. It's basically some golden age of heroes getting some rep. Plus, it's kind of weird. This is supposed to be a Lewis episode from Kickstarter. I thought it was going to be something else in mind, but oh well. Anyways, the animation and music really. But and although I say Tomcat should have won, but I'll be fine with Wile E. Coyote winning. Overall, this season has been banger after banger, to be honest. Can't wait for Spider-Man versus Deku to come out. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna make two predictions. As for the 200 episode, assuming Ash versus Yugi is not gonna be the 200 episode, since even though it was kind of stated to be the 200 episode before moving it to somewhere, before maybe well putting it on hold for something, I'm leaning towards either Ruby versus Maka and Hulk versus Godzilla. I don't feel like it's ready to talk about Aang versus Traveler since, unless assuming they, since we haven't gone to, since Genshin hasn't gone to. Shineria, I think we have. Mainly because Traveler has not been into Shineria yet and gotten the ice powers yet. Traveler has not got to Shineria yet, so yeah. And also find the sister. Which may also be optional, unless they need to drag it on, to be honest, but I hope they don't do the episode that early and hold on to it for next year. I hope they hold on to it till next year, in my opinion. Oh. Anyways, back to. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, and also the me Girl versus Mega Man is a maybe, but I'm leaning towards either Ruby versus Maka or Hulk versus Godzilla. Assuming Ash versus Yugi isn't one of it. I hope they don't pull something or a random episode. I hope it's not another rematch episode. As much as I hope it's not another rematch episode. We just got Master Chief versus Doomslayer. And before anyone asks, in I wanted something a little more grand for the 200 episode. And also, I just feel right Master Chief versus Doomslayer. Also, we just got Master Chief versus Doomslayer. So, anyways, and speaking about returning rematches or whatever, speaking about that, we got Spider-Man versus Deku. Or just Miles Morales versus Izuku Midoriya. Yeah, to be honest, I'm gonna keep it short to the chase and say it's Deku. Let's be honest with you. If your guy can basically shatter mountains on the If your guy has basically the if your character is basically a good version of the Sentry, yeah, keeping it Marvel simple, or basically, or be it the the Sentry, and as well as able to possess All Might's power. Good version of the Sentry without the void drawbacks, like All for One, as well as also Funjin, and yeah, Destroy Smash. Good luck, Miles. Miles, I love you. But good luck, my friend. And you would eat it. Also, fun fact, by the way, about Deku. Originally, Deku was supposed to fight Tanjiro, surprisingly, before they went on their own matchups. Yep, that's an interesting fact. Wondering why. Why. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and see you guys next time. Goodbye. Bye.